Rachel, Jared, I wanted to obviously welcome everybody, but I want to thank you for giving me 10 minutes to say hi to everybody. About 50 years ago, the famous artist Andy Warhol said that in the future everyone would be famous for 15 minutes. So I'm so glad I have these 20 minutes now to share with you. And so of course, as I heard about this a couple days ago and panicked and did what every good speechwriter does and go to Google and Google fabulous Father of the Bride speeches, and there's a lot of FFOBS information out there. They all suggested don't try too hard to be funny. Those of you who know me well, you know that is not going to be a problem. So thank you. I'm really looking forward to these next 45 minutes, Rachel. So I'll pass on stand-up comedy from here on in. I will stick with the quick, hopefully, well, not too quick, the welcomes and the necessary thanks and showing appreciation for so many here that have made tonight possible, and a little bit of wisdom for you, Jared, and maybe a story or two about Rachel. Wait, that's coming. As far as the necessary thanks, tonight obviously wouldn't be possible if it weren't for a handful of select people, some of whom are here, without whom this would literally not have happened. I'm speaking biologically, of course. To my mom, who is the sole representative of the grandparent generation that's here today from, I know how much it means to Rachel that you are a good party German and came here from New York with us. And to my beautiful wife, Denise, you see where Rachel got her looks from. I will say that Denise and I didn't have that much to do with the actual execution tonight here. That really was on Rachel and Jared. They're adults. They've done beautifully here. That is completely not true for the past week, though. Denise busted her hump to get everything done this past week. And for those of you who appreciated that, maybe we could just say thank you to her. Jared, pointer number one, it never hurts to suck up to your wife. Hope you're taking some mental notes over there, or somebody, one of the groomsmen, who were jotting this stuff down here for me. It's my best material, please. I also wanted to, a special thanks to Jared's parents. Where are you? There you are, Gary and Ollie. Where'd Ollie go? Ollie, thank you. Obviously, you know, it's a Herculean effort to get here on back-to-back 12-hour flights from South Africa, and I know you wouldn't have missed this for the world, and I know how proud you must be of your son tonight, and for what it's worth, I'm equally proud of him. I can't share your pride, but please know that he shares my respect. So thank you so much for obviously doing a great job with Jared in raising him. Thank you. Speaking of the African contingent here, I know there are a lot of other Africans in the under the big tent here. We've got pretty much the whole 6 continents represented here tonight. Thank you all. This is, I think, the 10th thank you over the past week for making the effort to get here. We really, I know how much Jared appreciates that his friends and family and extended family have come this long trip to get here. It's no small task if you've ever tried it. I will say, for those of you Americans here, if you want to reciprocate at some point, I think I can speak for all of them, saying they'd love to have you in their homes in Cape Town over the coming weeks or years or months. If you ever get back over there, just talk to Mike, he'll arrange it. It's all good. So anyway, thank you for that. And then I wanted to acknowledge also some people who aren't here tonight, who couldn't be here. I know Rachel's cousin Sydney would certainly love to share tonight with her and couldn't be. And also Jared's grandmother, who is a real trooper. She was a Spitfire. And Thelma also was just too much to travel. So, but I'm sure the videotape will be playing. So. And then a particular shout out to Denise's mom, Rachel's grandmother, who isn't just Rachel's grandmother, but in 2 weeks will be her landlord. So it's really important that you guys, that we get this, everybody, we got to get this part right here. So if I could ask maybe the camera guy to just pan the room for a second and we just all wave and say, "Hi, Marianne, we're thinking about you." So can you do just a quick wave, pan of the room there? Excellent, thank you. Most appreciated. For those of you who weren't here the past couple of nights, getting to know some of the Africans here, I did want to introduce some of the Africans in case you're not sure who they are. It's pretty easy to identify. They're the people in the room, the only people in the room whiter than I am. So I'm sure there's some irony in that. And if that begs an obvious question on your part, please, it's impolite to ask that question. Even as ignorant Americans, it's impolite to ask the question you're all thinking. And it's the question from Rachel and mine's favorite movie or comment. And Rachel, you can finish this. I know you can. It's one of these inspirational movies from Rachel and I's adolescence, because I'm a big kid too, like her. Mean Girls, that is. And it's like, "Oh my God, Karen, you can't ask people why they're white." But anyway, I'm just kidding, of course. Feel free to ask Gary why he's white. I'll give you a long, boring story after a few drinks about Dutch and English immigrants, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, we're just so glad that you are all here. It is so appreciated. I just also wanted to take, I'm sure I'm past my 10 minutes already, just suck it up though, because it's on me. So I did just want to speak to Jared and Rachel especially too here, and if I don't know if the servers are serving, feel free to start or eat your salad if you have it in the meantime. But Jared, it's been a pleasure to get to know you even a lot, really well over the first couple of months. But Jared and mine's relationship can easily be summarized by conquering mountains together, and I'm not speaking metaphorically in this case here. We literally did. First time we met him a couple of years ago on our way to Zim to the convention, Jared took us up to the top of Lion's Head, which is a pretty arduous task in daylight. It was a bear getting down at night though. Beautiful view of Sea Point notwithstanding. And then a couple months later, we were back there, and apparently Lion's Head wasn't enough. So he took us up the sheer vertical face of Table Mountain. I hear there are 365 ways to get up Table Mountain over Cape Town. He picked the hardest one. We literally need a professional to guide get. I'm not sure what you were trying to do, Jared. You were trying to kill us. It didn't succeed. Ha, we're here. So anyway, and then in the past 7 months, or excuse me, the past 7 weeks, as Jared has lived with us in our house here, he's helped me climb Mount 10 Promontory to get our house ready for this past 10 weeks here. Worn through a whole bunch of pairs of gloves. And while you may have been testing us on Lion's Head and Table Mountain, I was definitely testing you on the manual labor thing at our house. And Gary, Ollie, he passed with flying colors there. So Jared, I cannot tell you how happy I am to have you as my son-in-law. I cannot tell you how confident I am that any mountains you guys face going forward, you guys will climb. And if you do happen to climb a mountain or two on your honeymoon, it's a secret, by the way, wait for Instagram on Thursday. If you do happen to climb a mountain or two on your honeymoon, please take care of my little girl. Okay, thank you very much. And lastly, to my beautiful daughter, Rachel, this is the hard part here. If I survive this next 30 seconds here, so 5 minutes, whatever. 25 years and 36 hours ago, Denise grabbed my arms like, ah! as the contractions kicked in, and I was a prepared, soon-to-be new dad at that point. I read the whole "what to expect when you're expecting," but we had our little to-go bag there for the hospital. We were all set. We were ready to go. Except, much like last night, it was a super stormy night that night. Except the big difference from 25 years ago to tonight was our house in Connecticut was totally under construction. Blue tarps everywhere. That rain literally fell through the roof. Denise can tell you the whole story. And to go back notwithstanding, an hour later, when I finally found one of the 4 sets of car keys in our house there and got Denise to the airport, or excuse me, to the hospital, Greenwich Hospital, mercifully there, Rachel came and blessed our life that afternoon, was it? Yeah, that afternoon, and I'm so glad you came out sort of normal, because I've been hearing about that hour for the past 25 years. Jared, another little pointer there: do not lose the car keys if you're carrying. Rachel's carrying them out in there of her own there on the way to the hospital. So anyway, so we survived that. So for the next 10 years, I would tell Rachel a good night story just about every night, and we had this little routine of telling stupid stories, which is kind of an inverted Disney or childhood fairy tale story when Rachel went to bed there. And my favorite one, when I was particularly tired, was the stupid version of the 3 Little Pigs there. And Rachel, you might remember this one. You guys all know the 3 Little Pigs story, right? A pig goes down the trail, one pig goes that way. So the first pig, went off through the strawberry fields. The second pig came to the fork in the road. Oh, I forgot what he did. The third pig came to the fork in the road. Rachel, what did the third pig do at the fork in the road? Do you remember? He picked up the fork in the road. So anyway, it's a stupid story, right? It worked for 3-year-olds. So. Rachel, I just want to tell you how, I know you've come to a few forks in the road over the past few years. I cannot tell you how proud I am of the fork that you picked just under 2 years ago when you met Jared and chose to go down that road, and I couldn't be happier for you. I know Denise is the same. And just lastly, anecdotally, that covered the first 10 years of her life. Flash forward to the next 15 years of her life. The other influential movie in our adolescence was Freaky Friday, and of course you remember that Jane Curtin's parting words to her daughter every time in that movie was, what, Rachel? Make good choices. Make good choices. Every time Rachel walked out the door for about 10 years there, I'd say to her, make good choices, as she walked off the porch there. And I said that all the time. I know you heard that. What you never heard, though, once in those thousands of times you heard me say make good choices, is that I knew in my heart you always would. So I think sitting next to you is the best choice. Well, the second best choice after serving Jehovah, the second best choice you ever made is sitting next to you there. So I can't tell you, and I can't tell you how happy I am to say made good choice in the past tense now. So Rachel, I love you so much. Jared, I love you too. Welcome as my son-in-law and our son-in-law and a member of our family. Good luck with the whole member of the family thing. I'm sure you'll need it. So anyway, thank you. Enjoy your dinner, everybody. Thank you, everyone, for making the effort to be here tonight. We're so glad you could share tonight with us. Thanks.